Okay, I'm going to show you how to create a mask, Montana mask, using mold pores. I, as usual, didn't prepare worth crap because I'm busy making my own, but produces a mask like this, and you pour Mold Star into a shell that creates these guys here. Then you stack a bunch of those guys together, and you clamp them with these long wood clamps. And I've built this. You don't need to build this. I put the file online to make this. I've actually resin cast mine so I can pump these guys out as well, because I want to be giving these out to a bunch of maker spaces as well in the next week. Clamp them in. If you have a small amount, it's fine to clamp. I normally do one here, and one at the bottom, kind of a triangle. Don't clamp this area. Clamp the edges because you're trying to prevent the goop from leaking out. So now you need to put the goop in. So you mix 50-50 by volume, smooth cast 61D. 61D gives you these squishy masks. Thank you, Billings, for teaching me that. Then you just pour it into all these slots. If you look at one of these masks, or if you look at one of these molds up close, let me just do that here. You can see that there are these channels here. Those channels are very important. They are for air. If you discover that your eyelets are getting air bubbles in them, just take a tin snip, or not a tin snip, just take a wire cutter or something and just cut away a little bit of silicone over here until it's bigger. This part doesn't matter because that part's getting cut away from the mask anyways. Don't worry about it. I've updated the model so you might not have to do that, you might have to do that. So there's a special way to remove these masks. Don't pull them from the side, don't pull them from the bottom. It's really easier if you pull them from the top, and you want it to get this, right? So these little loops up here. If you do it a different way, it's not going to be bad or anything. It's not going to be terrible. It's just easier on the mold if the mold doesn't have to bend very much. I don't know, but I imagine. I imagine if you don't fold the mold inside out all the time, it's going to last longer. That's not unreasonable. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab this guy, and you just get your finger underneath the top here. Now, underneath the top right here, just pull it out, pop her out. You've got a mask. And it's easier to do if you're sitting down. You can do it a lot faster. I'll demonstrate that. Just pull one out and then just get in here. Oh, I'm failing. It's normally faster than this. There we go. Okay, it's easier if I use my dominant hand too, apparently. Then we have another mask. Then you just grab it, pull the new one out, set it to the side. I like to try and stack them in the way that they came out so I can note any defects on here and adjust on the mold. I don't get any defects on the masks anymore, but used to. Or whatever. Just pull another one out. Sometimes it's easier to pull them out if you do that first. You separate them out first. I guess I do pull the mask out from the bottom now that I think about it. My bad. I pull the molds apart from the top and I pull the masks out from the bottom, so It's a fast way of creating mask. Requires relatively little effort. So just grab them and pull. There you go. And pull that out. Then I have an awesome guy who has offered to do all the trimming from my mold, so remove all the flashing. That's the other great part about this is you can get anyone with a scissors involved. So that was the remaining 1/4. See, don't take it from the bottom. Don't open it from the bottom. Pull it from the top. That was the remaining 1/4 of the masks, or of this batch. So I do about like 25 in a small batch. That's per hour. Nice and fast. So, also when you fill up your when you create these rubber molds, fill the mold all the way to the brim, because if you don't, you get this tiny foot, and this isn't going to stack. It's not sitting on anything, so the only thing that's holding it up is its belly. So you're going to get a thin area down here. I do that anyways with one of them because I can stick one of them on the end and I have no problems, but yeah. Now you're also going to have to go through all these molds. You're going to have to feel for any dried snot-like texture. You're welcome for that imagery. And pull it out. You don't want if you don't, the molds won't as easily seal. Especially if you find that the resin has dried inside of the air vent, which it's supposed to do, right? I mean, the air vent is there so the resin can go up into it, and preferably the air along with that resin. So you get all your bubbles in this air vent, or you preferably get all the air out of that air vent. But you know, life's not the way you want it all the time. So, that's okay. Yard. There we go. Right, now these guys. So, lop off the tops. It's a lot easier to cut this if you've removed it recently from the mold. Lop off the little bits here as well. The vent flashing, just clip, clip, rip, rip. Alright, and you can keep going with that. I'm gonna now, after you get the flash removed, just go ahead and grab 2 of your hair ties, and this doesn't take very long. Go ahead and cut both of them like that. Oh, you lazy bastard. I'm gonna have to rotate and grab my scissors. Pardon my language. So I've made a weak spot in these hairbands where I attempted to cut with some garbage tool. So I'm gonna cut out that weak spot, and these hairbands will just be an inch shorter. Whatever. That's okay. They're a little long anyways. Okay. You don't need to cut an inch shorter on your hairband. So now that you've sliced your headbands off and you've got this really nice elastic that isn't painful on your hair or head, you can start attaching it to the mask. First, we go ahead and tie a knot on both ends. Come on. 1, 2. Okay. And then I guess I'll just do one so that you're not too bored. Then take a twist tie, or take a zip tie. I use these ultra light duty cable ties. They can handle 18 pounds. The reason I use ultra light duty is because if you use the heavier ones, and you can use the heavier ones do fit through here, but I noticed that this eyelet's going to tear before this zip tie does, so why? Like, this isn't the weak point. So anyways, got that. Obviously I just put that on, like so, and I run my elastic through, or if this is too boring, I'm trying to go fast. And I'm also too busy to edit. But what you want it to do is you want it to just be a little bit tight, right? So you can pull it through relatively easy, but it still snugs. All right. Now, if someone finds that the mask is coming loose on them, they can always tighten it up themselves. They can pull on these little zip ties and make it less slippery, less likely to slip. So we'll do the same thing over here. On that side, just grabbing a zip tie, running the zip tie through, and then, sorry, I got caught on something. I would grab this one time. This one has a more obnoxious eyelet. There we go. Okay. Grab your zip tie, run it through. Alright. Then, same thing on the other side. Just, I don't know why I'm showing you that. You know how zip ties work. Duh. Alright. Whatever. Foolish. Alright. That's tightish. Has its little thing there. Now I can put it on. And wow, that feels a bit tight. Jeez, I wish there was some way. That's better. That I could loosen it. Now, this has to be burnt. This little tip here has to be burnt. Because it frays and it starts annoying you, like halfway through the day. But that's this. Alright.